Thank you, Mr. Branston. I wish that you have a splendid day as well.
Thank you very much. And my compliments to whoever does your garden.
I shall be certain to give her the word.
And he touches the brim of his hat, and then he departs.
Yes. Huh, more check. It's an unusual name. Perhaps I ought to look into that before the 17th.
Yes, maybe you should. But for now, we're heading over to our next protagonist. Now then, later that day at the American Embassy in London, the Secret Service agent Sam Fisher has been summoned by his superior, Special Officer Frank Whitman, head of security at the American Embassy. Why exactly Special Officer Whitman has requested his presence, Sam does not truly know. But he can hardly ignore commands from a superior officer. And as the special agent makes his way into Whitman's large but highly organized office, he is immediately greeted by a warm smile from the balding, slightly overweight middle-aged man sitting behind the oaken desk. Special Officer Whitman immediately gets up from his chair to greet Sam. "Ah, there he is, the man of the hour," Whitman says as he heartily shakes your hand.
I shake it less enthusiastically and more calculated.
And he then says, letting go of your hand, I haven't had the chance to congratulate you on a job well done. Bang up job, my boy. Usually the Brits won't get off our backs, but you don't hear them laughing or complaining now, do you? And he laughs merrily and pats you on the back.
I take it and I nod to him and I say, "Sir, there are no congratulations needed. I just did my job."
You're being needlessly modest, my boy. And then Whitman heads over to a cupboard that is revealed to really be a mini bar as he opens it up. He says, "That Sam can offer you a drink, and man of your caliber deserves to have a drink now and then, wouldn't you say?"
"Sir, I appreciate the offer, but I cannot drink on the job, and I am always..."
"Oh, come on, a hero like yourself, you deserve a little treat."
He knows, okay, in his mind, he knows that this is going to keep going on until he says yes, so he says, "Very well, scotch on the rocks."
"Alright, that's the spirit." Yes, and he fixes you a drink. And he hands you a scotch, but without the ice, and he says, "I'm afraid I'm all out of ice, so sorry about that."
I'm sorry, repeat that?
He was all out of ice.
Okay, I take it and I take a small sip.
Yeah, that was really impressive what you did there at stopping that plot to assassinate King George. So tell me, how exactly did you go about it?
It was actually fairly simple.
Oh, really?
The assassin had left a benchmark clue that was easy to pinpoint, and we got his location.
Really? So yes, indeed, he continues to talk about the exact intricate details of your mission, and how exactly you saved the British king from being assassinated.
Well, all we did was we pinpointed his location, and I took him out, one right between the eyes.
Bang up job you did there. Really impressive. And then after your talk, you go to sit at his desk, And he then gives you a bit of news. Now, the reason why I exactly have asked you to come here, I know you were scheduled to go back to the States next week, but because you saved the king and all, let's say you attract a little bit of attention. So,
How so, sir?
Yeah, the guys from above, they've asked you to do one last mission before you head home.
Okay, give me the details. I will be obliged.
I appreciate that, even though we were supposed to go back home next week. Yeah, just appreciate it. But government agents were supposed to come by today to give us the details. He hasn't really come by yet. And then suddenly the phone on his desk starts ringing, and he picks it up. And he says, "Whitman? Yes? Oh. All right, yeah. Right. Yeah. Send him over. Okay, thanks." And he puts the receiver down again. And he looks at you and says, "Speak of the devil."
Coincidental, it seems.
And shortly thereafter, there is a knock on the door, and Mr. Whitman, of course, tells the person to enter, which he does. And you see a skinny man in a black trench coat and a broad-rimmed black hat, carrying a briefcase.
I set down the scotch and I back up just a little bit from the man, not defensively, just giving him his room.
Oh no, I said it's a rather large office, so there's more than room enough. Don't worry about that.
I know, but I still back up just a little bit because I'm always on guard.
Alright. He neatly hangs up his coat and hat on the coat hanger next to the door, and then he heads over to the desk. And he immediately extends his hands towards you, and he says, Special Agent Fisher, my name is Francis T. Branston, British Military Intelligence.
I nod and I shake the man's hand. Pleasure to meet you, Mr. Branston.
And he, of course, also extends his hand towards Whitman, and he also shakes his hand. And of course, Special Officer Whitman tells him to have a seat, which Branston does. And he sits down and he says, Mr. Fisher, I must congratulate you on a job well done. How you saved the king's life. In name of the British people everywhere, you have our thanks.
No thanks needed, sir. Just a job done.
Well, aren't you a modest chap?
Modesty has nothing to do with it. I have a job to do. I do my job. That's why I was hired.
And I'm having difficulty keeping his voice right. I apologize.
It's okay. Actually, you're doing better than you normally do, Ramsey, so you're good.
Interesting choice of words. You're going to need it, elders. You're going to need it, elder son.
In any case,
you're doing fine,
Branston continues to congratulate you, and he then says, "Well, the reason why I have come here is for, yes, your superior officer has probably already informed you, but we would like to hire you for one more mission before you head off home." And he immediately opens his briefcase and hands you a letter. It's a mission of utmost importance on enemy soil.
I take the letter in hand, and the second he says enemy soil, my eyebrow quirks, and I am a little more interested in the mission as I take the envelope.
It's a very delicate intelligence gathering operation, and your expertise will be of undoubtable importance.
Very well. Then I will take this mission on, and I'll make sure it gets done properly.
Yes, thank you. You will find all the details in the letter I just handed you.
Very well, he says as he tucks it into his coat pocket.
Very well. I have done my task. Again, you have my thanks for what you have done. And I wish both of you a good day, gentlemen. And he inclines his head, gets up, and departs. But of course, he first, picks up his coat and his hat before he exits.
And I nod to him as he departs and wait for him to leave.
And Whitman nods at you and he says, well, seems you got your job cut out for you. Wow. Enemy soil, huh? Wonder where you're going.
I look to Whitman, and no emotion on his face whatsoever. He says, one job's just like another. It's all enemy soil. And he takes another sip of the scotch and says, thank you for the drink. I must be off.
He actually looked like he was about to say something, but now that you suddenly seem into a hurry, he closes his mouth again. He says, yes, of course, you've got probably important duties to attend to. Yes, we both should get back to work, so good luck on your mission, my boy.
And you as well, sir.
Yes, and you say your goodbyes and probably depart from his office.
Yes, I depart, and as I depart, I try and remember where the nearest restroom would be.
Very well, then you head off to the restroom. Luckily for you, you knew these surroundings quite well.
Mm-hmm. And the first thing I do is I go immediately to the sink and I drink as much water as I can to counter any effects that the alcohol would have had on me.
You take your job very seriously.
Oh, yes. And the second thing I would do is I would dry my hands, reach into my coat pocket, and open up my envelope.
Yes. And similarly to the two gentlemen before you, you receive an invitation from a certain Frantisek Moravec who invites you to seem to have misplaced it. Here we go. The Metropole Hotel on the 17th of July at 9 o'clock sharp in the morning. And you will be briefed there upon your arrival on the details of the mission.
Then I will quickly fold the envelope back up, put it in my coat pocket, and I will walk out to... I guess I would have my own driver, or would I be driving myself?
That's for you to decide.
No, do you have me having a driver, or does my character drive himself?
I suppose you would have an automobile of sorts.
Okay, then I would drive myself. I'd be there at 8 o'clock.
Very good. Now then, time for our next character.
Yes, the good Professor Jensen.
Yes.
Johnson.
Several days.
Say that a lot, I guess.
Yeah. Probably. Several days later, in rainy Belgium, we head to the University of Leuven, where renowned history professor Hendrik Johnson is educating his students on the intricacies of important historical events. Now then, Dries, at this time, what are you teaching your students about?
The origins of Dracula.
I see. I thought this was a fictional character, and you're a history professor, are you not?
Yes, but I am teaching my students how a mythological being like that is actually based upon historical facts, and how people's imagination and stories of given down from generation to generation can change a normal person into a bloodthirsty monster.
I see. Well, of course, you
Always
are met.
look for the facts.
You are met with some initial skeptical reaction from your students, but you're able to persuade them of the importance of knowing these things in time.
Mm-hmm.
Now then.
Because, as you know, everything can be explained through science.
Of course. And the class is eventually brought to a close by the ringing of the bell. And as the students make their way out of the classroom, one person, wearing a broad-rimmed black hat and trench coat, instead heads inside.
I have
Probably
a
as you are...
Yes.
Probably while you are tidying up.
Mm-hmm.
So yes, he comes closer to you and he says, Dr. Jensen, I presume?
It's pronounced Janssen.
Yes, my apologies. He takes off his hat. My name is Francis T. Branston, British Military Intelligence. And he extends his hand.
I see. I close my bag and then I give him a quick shake. His hand.
And apparently that is hilarious.
Indeed.
Think about it, Ramses. Think about it.
I don't have time to think right now. Sorry, I'll do it later. In any case, Mr. Branston, he says, Doctor. Wait, is it doctor or professor? I'm not 100% clear.
It's professor. If I was a doctor, I would be a medical.
Yes, but you're a doctor in the area of history, are you not?
That could be so, but everybody calls me professor.
Yes, of course, because you teach at a university. In any case, I'm rambling on about unimportant details. Yes, Professor, I've read some of your books. I must say I was very, very impressed. But I must ask you, those action sequences you put in there, did you put them in there to make the books sell better, or because you must have made that's surely those parts are fiction, are they not?
Be more precise of the action sequence.
Well, there are different. When you were exploring the jungles of Borneo and you had to fend off an attack from angry natives, that you just put that in there just to, yes, like I said, to make the book sell better, did you not?
Oh no, I certainly did not, and I still have the scars to prove it.
Oh, so I see, you are more a hands-on kind of historian, are you not? Most people of your caliber usually stay in libraries and are more accustomed to dealing with dusty books and not exactly firefights and the like.
Ah, yes, but if you want to have accurate historical facts, you have to go to the source. Those kind of information does not come to you.
I see, yes, of course, you are correct, Professor Jansen. Now then, you must wonder why exactly I have come here.
You probably need my expertise for some matter, otherwise you wouldn't be here.
Yes, you are partly correct, sir. We have need of you to verify a certain rumor that has been circulating recently. How to correctly word this? I'll just get straight to the point. You are an acquaintance of Dr. Count Ernst von Kammerstein, are you not?
Oh, him. Yes, I met him.
You've met him.
He says with a sigh.
Do you still have contact with the man?
I fortunately do not.
Fortunately, your encounter with him was not favorable?
Well, I wouldn't say that, but we both shared our enthusiasm for the history of our world. Although I'm afraid that he was a little bit, I would say, over-enthusiastic about the mythology of our history. He took it a little bit too serious.
Yes. Well, we at the British Military Intelligence have reason to believe that von Kammerstein has recently begun putting some of his more insane theories into practice. On people.
Yes, it was only a matter of time before that would happen.
I see, this does not surprise you.
The man was already unstable when I met him.
I see. Well,
so I think I left there in time.
We would like to hire you. We would like to have you for your assistance in verifying this rumor. Your knowledge relating to the occult and your personal experience with von Kammerstein will be invaluable to this mission. And, as expected, he hands you a letter. Oh, and also a plane ticket.
He just takes the letter, takes one of his antiquity daggers that he has on his desks and opens it.
I almost thought you were going to say you get out your machete, but that would be overkill.
It is not the right tool, I believe.
Yes, you have to sometimes discipline your students.
Pay attention! First machete. Yes, sir. So yes, you open the letter, and inside is of course a similar message from Frantisek Moravec, who invites
After he
you
takes out his reading glasses.
Yes, of course. And he invites you to the Metropole Hotel in London at the 17th of July at 9 o'clock in the morning, and all your expenses will be paid for. A trip via airplane will be paid for you, as will your stay in a local hotel. And of course, they will also pay you for your time, your involvement in the mission. You will be paid.
Of course.
What is your initial reaction?
That was my initial reaction.
A sigh. Is there a problem, Professor?
No, but you mentioned a certain man, and then you gave me this letter. I have a bad feeling about this.
Yes, we all do, Professor. That's why I'm asking you to accompany the agents on this mission.
Oh, goody.
Oh, and I forgot to mention that by this time he has closed the door to discuss these delicate things with you.
I almost thought you were going to say to discuss these delicacies.
No.
Anyway. Well...
Actually, I think the appropriate terminology would have been delicatessen. Saying.
And he notices that you are hesitating, so he says, if the problem is your compensation, this can be negotiated. I see you see a business opportunity.
Okay. I will make you an offer, double my fee, and I'm in.
I'm afraid I will have to contact my commander first. But I'm sure we can come to an agreement.
Mm-hmm.
And he looks slightly nervous.
And while he's saying that, Dr. Jansen is wiping the blackboard, closing his suitcase, and leaving the door.
I see. Yes. So you're leaving Mr. Branston there. Very well.
Mm-hmm.
But yes, eventually Mr. Branston comes back to you and informs you that yes, you are going to be lucratively rewarded for your services.
I hope so.
And soon enough, you are on the plane and off to London.
Indeed I am.
Now then, our next scene takes us to the date you have been hearing several times by now.
Mm-hmm.
The 17th... Wait, did I say the 17th?
Yes.
Yes.
I've been saying the 17th over and over again, haven't I?
Indeed
Deep
you
sigh.
have, dear keeper.
Deep sigh. Does anybody have their mission briefing open?
Excuse me?
Does anybody have their mission briefing open?
Yes.
I don't.
Give me a brief moment. Yes, I have the mission briefing.
You will have to apologize. You have to excuse me, dear listeners. It is getting frightfully hot in here and my brain is starting to melt.
Oh dear.
Hear this.
We must put in a jar.
No, it was the 3rd of July, not the 17th. Because it was the last week of June when everybody was being recruited by Mr. Branston.
Ah, yes, I can see how that can be a little bit of a pickle.
Oh, and Nico? Mm-hmm. I completely forgot to mention that the man who visited you was Captain Karol Palesek, member of Colonel Moravec's espionage group and his foremost expert on personal documents.
Ah.
Completely
Okay,
forgotten.
thank you.
Slipped my mind. Now then. Next, we head to the 7th of July, as I just mentioned, to the Metropole Hotel.
Yes, indeed.
And when you all arrive at the hotel, it immediately becomes clear that this building is no longer used to let's say, temporarily house tourists. No, because you see that you constantly see people carrying imposing bundles of documents milling about.